What up, guys, gals, everybody watching? Appreciate y'all subscribing to my content. Appreciate y'all recapping this journey with me. I'm gonna just be straight up honest. This is a little rough for me. It's not the easiest thing to do. I think for a few reasons. One, just seeing myself compete the way I competed. You know, there was flashes of good things, but overall I just feel like it's draining because I get frustrated with myself and watching all the nonsense and just wondering what was going on in my head. But yeah, I think, you know, maybe anybody would feel that way. Any high level athlete that watches themselves back would feel that way. I don't know. I just feel very hypercritical, and it's draining for me to do that. And in addition to that, you know, I know I'm going to have to go back over some of the failures that I had. You know, up to this point, we've only really seen me win in these matches, but you know, there will be failures coming up in the near future, and you know, having to relive those. I'm a little nervous about it. But yeah. Oh well, let's get into it. We got a duel with Ryder. I'm wrestling Wayne Stinson, 174 pounds. This will be my 11th match of the year. Let's see what we got. I'm rocking the Nike Speed Elite 360s. I think I only wore those for one match, but maybe one or two matches, but got some fresh kicks on, so you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. Looking swaggy. Got the white headgear on one side, the blue on the other. Looking good. Let's get into the action. All right, so here we go. He's starting out low stance. I switch lead legs right away. Let's go over something real quick. So one thing I like to do kind of right away, I didn't always do this, but I would start, you know, right leg lead on the whistle. And a lot of times, you know, if you're leading right leg, generally you're going to be shooting right hand to high C, right hand to single leg to that leg. So, you know, there was a lot of times where I would just switch lead leg off the whistle to completely throw this guy off. Now the attacks are coming from the opposite side of, you know, what he was maybe typically expecting. So, you know, now my attacks are going to come from a different angle, come from a different arm. So quick shot, up into over-unders, comfortable position for me. You know, I like to just start shooting off the whistle, setting the tone here. He's looking underhook. He's looking underhooks. You know, I'm definitely giving up too many. You saw in my last match me giving up underhooks, and now here again, doing a little better job of fighting inside. He's looking throw by. I can already feel this guy's zone. Definitely pretty spazzy, pretty, you know, got a lot going on, so I need to slow him down. So I'm just trying to get in tight with him, and that was intense. Little flip, but all good, yeah. Back to the center. Right hand collar tie, left hand over tie. Gonna probably try to snap here, ankle pick. Catches underhook. Probably looking throw by here. Left side throw by is one of my better attacks, so here it comes. There it is. Let's break that down. Look at my opponent's arm position. So when my opponent's arm is he's trying to fight inside like this, but he's trapped, he doesn't really have a way to stop me from throwing him by. If he were to switch to an overhook here, he can kind of keep my arm trapped so that I'm not able to throw his entire body past me. But because his hand's on the inside, so if his hand is in the inside or if his hand goes on my back or neck, it's easy for me to throw it by. There's no break that's stopping me, right? Like if he has an overhook here, when I throw him by, his hand's gonna break against my tricep and stop me. At this point, you know, anytime a guy's doing this, it's a very easy throw by and something I just attack without even any worry. So in addition to my other side being outside, if he does go overhook, I can duck the far side. But right now he's giving me this easy throw by. So I throw it by, A couple things important here. After I throw it by, I'm immediately trying to climb high, right? Like you can do a couple different things. You can just drop on the legs, get your 2, or you can, secure this other leg. Look, I think I'm pinching it in between my knees, and then, just climb the ladder up top. But there's not any risk in this move from an offensive wrestler as far as being counterattacked. And in addition to that, there's not any, it's a high percentage thing for me to score. So secure my 2. All right, he's looking roll. I stay on top. Take him back. He's rolling. Cradle. Not quite. Cradle's there. Oh, and I get it. So let's break that down real quick. So for me on top, a big thing, I love cradles. Cradles to me are like not only a move where if you're a less, maybe not as well-rounded wrestler, that you can really equalize the match with, top pressure and threatening that, but just a dominant way to be able to, I was always a long arm, skinnier kid, not as strong, but this is a move, it's not like a chicken wing arm bar power half where, you in muscle for muscle. If you understand the biomechanics and start to understand the levers of, hey, I put my pinky on my opponent's elbow, I pull it across, if his leg's straight, I'm going to crunch his head to his knee, and basically, it doesn't matter what this guy benches, squats, how strong he is, the levers and the mechanics of how I crunch him with me being just quick, explosive is going to be able to really, put this guy in a predicament. So what I'm always watching for here is my opponent's outside leg to step up just like this. So right now I see my opponent has his weight on his outside leg and he has weight on his outside hand. From here, my head's high, so I can kind of put a little more pressure on his hand. I don't want this guy to be able to stand up, so I want a little more weight on his hand. But as soon as his leg comes up, I know it's there. So I punch across, get to the cradle, and lock it up fast. My hands are locked, and I take him back. But it's not tight because I didn't have his arm trapped. So I got 4 near fall, up 6-0 here. Let's look at why. Let me go back over that real quick on why I didn't get the pin. So, let me rewind it a little bit. I'm trying to get a good angle so people can see. Let me rewind it a little bit. So I don't know how this happened, but okay, you can kind of see here. My hands right here are locked. I don't have his arm trapped. I like to ideally keep my left arm on his elbow and keep that arm trapped just to kind of secure the position more. And we'll see a lot of this in the future as far as me hitting this move, but that's something that, I think it's not going to happen every time. Sometimes you just have to keep the lock and take them to their back, regardless. I'm trying to put this guy on his back. But I'm dealing with a scrambly, squirrely guy, so he's going to be a little harder to keep on his back. But that's something that, you can already see, me trying to stay in bounds and the grip, him being flexible, the grip's not really ideal. So he was pretty flat. Probably could have got called pin. But I just get my near fall and move on. So yeah, no, there wasn't a ton I could do there with just a really flexible guy not having his arm trapped, but got my near fall. Here I'm going to kick him back. Close, but no cigar. Looking overhead cradle, near side. Big mat return. No. Let's go back over that. All right, so as we can see here, when my opponent's looking to stand up, you know, I initially look overhead cradle, and now I'm kind of setting him up, right? I'm not really nervous about him standing up. So right here, I started doing this a lot as a freshman. I don't know, I just liked it. It felt fun, but a couple key important parts on this mat return. Notice I was already down on his leg as he was standing up. So I didn't let go of him and then try to drop on his leg. You know, as he's standing up, I'm already on his leg. So there's no time for him to try to sprawl, get his hips back. You know, I'm already in good position here. The next part is my elbow position, elbows deep. So you notice you can't even see my hand here. If my hand's on his hamstring, he's going to be able to kick that back and stomp. But because I use this whole arm and get my elbow deep, and now my whole muscle group is being utilized, I have this leg sealed tight to my chest, and he's not going to be able to pull it back out away from him. You know, the next part, as we're going to see, is my hand coming across, and I think it'll even slide high up to his neck right there. So once my hand slides high up to his neck, I can start to pull and rotate his shoulders, and then bring him down physical. Boom, bring him down physical here. And you know, I think that you start learning these things a little later, and I started learning some of these things a little later in my career, but where I really want to be is even higher on his chest. So you can see down on my chest is on the lower portion of his chest. I want to get my chest up on his neck, his upper chest, his face. And you see here, my other arm is controlling down below by the hips. This is going to make it hard to pin him. If I slid this arm up high, underhook, and I'm able to pin his chest down, then I'm going to be able to control his upper body and get the pin. But because I'm a little low, he's able to use his hips and create space and wiggle down away from his, down off his back. So I'm just too low there. I need to get higher. Looking cradle again. Do I got it? I think I got it. Lost the grip. The same thing with the cradle. You don't have to do it when their foot's up. You can hit it with their knee down. It's just a little more difficult. Looking to control wrists. Short time left, so I'm just holding position here. Keeping him down, claw. Claw is always a great place to be if you just want to keep your opponent down. So I believe it should be 10-0-ish. 10-0, second period. I choose bottom. I think this guy's a leg rider, you know, so going into this match, I was ready for that to happen, so I knew I needed to probably explode off the whistle. Step over, and yeah, that's all she wrote. So let's watch that again quick. So he's looking to he's just in bad position here, you know, falling off to the side. He's trying to keep his leg over mine, but that's not going to last him very long. And so he almost just pulled me into that position. I didn't even really do much. I just hopped over, and yeah, that's tight. That's a pin. So got a pin. Don't mind that. Yeah, overall, just keeping it rolling. See y'all next time.